last week. So this week I was watching more closely so I could really pay attention.
I know our game's picking up around here. We have a great support cast, and let's just talk about how far we've come in the past 10 years, and not to blow our own horn, just the people that we've been able to get around us. We've got some amazing people who help us bring some of these crazy ideas to life and bring some of the crazy ideas to us. And if you're happy with the stream, which we know we are, Spencer's got a big hand in that and telling us where we should be putting cameras. We've got some real cool stuff coming up. But an exciting show tonight. Adam, you and I both did our homework this week. We rounded up some great stories. We've got some great stuff we're going to talk about and a couple of big announcements this week. As we get over the hump here into the new year, as the manager of a racetrack, I'm looking at my calendar and realizing the saying that I always say is the train's coming at me. It's like that calendar doesn't stop. It just keeps chugging down the track, and before we know it, we'll be at it. So we got some cool stuff happening. What's on your mind, buddy?
And this is the start. Right. I know there's the 24 hours of Daytona that kind of kicks off race season for a lot of people. But for me, Clinton, I think I can say this for you as well. Speed Weeks starts race season. Chili Bowl is fantastic. It's an off-season event. Speed Weeks is where everything starts to happen. Short track asphalt racing, short track dirt racing. The teams are in Florida. There's even more action this year than there has been in recent years. And once the Daytona 500 hits, we all start thinking about racing again. People really get to work on the race cars at home in their shops, and we're that much closer to opening night at the various speedways in our areas.
Yeah, it's crazy how much goes on in Florida during Speed Weeks. I'll be taking off myself to get down there next week and take Christine down to the Daytona 500 for the first time. She's never been. It's been 21 years since I've been. I know you went there maybe 10, 12 years ago, but always a great time in Florida. No matter what kind of basically short track race fan you are, there's something for you. If it's pavement, go-karts, whatever it is, to all our buddies in the modifieds and sprint cars down there. And we got a lot of friends on the pavement side too. So super exciting as that kicks off. But we have a super exciting announcement, Adam, and we got a lot of great stuff going on tonight. So without further ado, you tee it up? You could probably do a better job teeing it up than I can. It's time now, but you let me know how we want to lead this one in.
Clint, you and I couldn't do the job that Spencer does on making this happen. All I'm going to say about this announcement is it's something we should have done a long time ago. It's something that's been talked about for a long time, and the timing couldn't be better. Just wait and see what is in store. Let's do it, Spencer.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivalz Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivalz and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
Well, there you have it.
As always, Spencer doing a phenomenal job, Clinton. But what this is, and folks, what you saw was a lot of Washougal in there. But already, Clinton, we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. But in the last week, when the talks really got more serious, you can share with the people as well as I can. We've talked to people in the industry, and they are waiting. They're ready to get involved with this. It is going to be the one place you can come and see action from all of the racetracks and series that you care about.
100% and 100% free. We see a lot of streaming services that are out there selling racing to the fans. We have put together this package. And of course, it encompasses a lot of stuff you're already getting free, but we're going to bring it in one central hub. And this is a lot of motorsports producers getting together under one banner to put it under a common envelope where you can go to gforcetv.net or GeForce TV on YouTube is where it's going to be eventually up and flying. So you can go to YouTube right now. If you're a YouTube subscriber and you have an account, go to YouTube, subscribe to us. For the next, let's say, people who subscribe from where we are now till, I don't know, next Tuesday, we will do another draw. We have some draws coming up from last week's social event, but super cool, Adam, have it. And the best way we can describe this is free programming on YouTube, bringing everything in. And this was the goal, to get regular programming daily on one central hub where we can all, and the best word I've been using this week to describe it is cross-pollinate. So we've got all these different genres of racing, from esports, iRacing, to live events, to micro sprints. We've already been talking to a big part of the go-kart sector. We've also got a lot of other tracks who are interested in bringing their video productions and putting them on a central hub where we can all market this to some of the bigger folks and all the same viewers. And I think we're going to be able to say, like I say, pick up viewers from different genres. And a lot of people are going to discover this more than if we were just on our own along with the other folks. So that's my thoughts.
Well,
I'm super excited. Again, always free.
Always free. And what we've done over time, Clinton, we always try to network. We always try to reach out and say, hey, do you want to get involved in this project? Hey, could you benefit from that? And the answer is always mostly yes, but for the longest time, we were working from Ohsweken Speedway's Facebook page. So it was sometimes counterproductive for people to say, well, that doesn't really benefit me. This network is going to be so much bigger than that. It's going to provide a great platform for a lot of race series that haven't had this size platform. Like you say, the cross-pollination, it's an interesting term. But by bringing these people together and combining all these forces, I think we can really generate an awesome spot where the hardcore racing enthusiasts and eventually esports enthusiasts can hang out and get their action.
Yeah, so for those of you who watch our programming on Facebook, for the near future, we're going to continue to be here, but we are migrating everything over to gforcetv.net, and you can also find that at GeForce TV on YouTube. So get over there, subscribe to it. You get a notification whenever any of the programs come on the air, and you won't miss any of the exciting programming coming on. And for any content producers out there, if you're a videographer at one of the racetracks, give us a call. We'd love to get in touch with you. Send us a message, and we've got a place for you too with some of these folks behind GeForce TV. We're super excited to have this going on, Adam. And like I said, just branding everything together. There's unity in numbers. And I think by having us all work together, it's been amazing. So we're super excited. Once again, gforcetv.net. Anything else, Adam, you want to drop on that?
Oh, I'm going to put the actual link in this Facebook chat right here so people can head over there. You're able to comment over there. Hopefully that link works. I'm not sure how Facebook reacts to YouTube links going in their chatter, but it's just going to be a better venue for everybody.
Yeah, your link's up, buddy. So I agree. We saw Dylan Westbrook peek in the middle there. DW is with us tonight on the program to talk about his upcoming Florida run, his 2020 season. There's lots of speculation. Is he going to stay at home? Will he be out on the road? So DW, if you can hear me now, be prepared to answer those questions. But we're not quite ready for you. I guess we can jump in with you.
We're ready. You called him out. Hey, Dylan, how's it going?
Put him on.
Really good.
Awesome.
So
where are we talking to you from?
Actually at girlfriend's house.
Go for
Smart
it, Clint.
man. D-Dub, congratulations as always. I think at the end of the year you became the winningest driver in the 360 division history of Ohsweken Speedway. A huge feat considering you only turned your first 360 laps in 2016. In the storied history of that place, off the top, what does that mean to you, man?
It really means a lot. Just being able from really starting out racing sprint cars out of Ohsweken and going all the way from racing in like the go-karts there, then moving up to the crate, and then up into the 360s, now being the winningest driver in a 360 there, and doing it pretty quick too. It really means a lot to me.
You're up, Adam.
So Dylan, what's the Florida plan? So I'm over on YouTube. I'm commenting and getting people wound up on YouTube. What's the Florida plans, Dylan? How important is it to kick your season off this early? Years past, you've been down at the Chili Bowl turning some laps there. So are you actually behind the game this season?
Maybe a little bit, but not pretty much the same. I was going to work out. Going down to Florida really gives us a head start on the season. Just get back into the car and get used to everything again. And this year we're actually going to run the 410 with the All Stars on Monday and Tuesday, and then for the rest of the week run the 360s.
Dylan, it's tough down in Florida. Tracks are different. Tough to be good, even when you're one of the best. Talk about how difficult the competition is in Florida with everybody coming from all over North America to battle in both the 410s and the 360s.
Yeah, we've had a few good runs there. We've won most of it, then it got passed near the end by Mark Smith, and then sometimes we've just tried doing something near the same, and it just doesn't work. It's that track down there. It's whatever you normally do, pretty much throw it out and try something completely different.
What about the summertime, Dylan? How busy a schedule are you going to keep this summer?
It's going to be really busy. We're planning on doing the full ASCS tour this year.
Wow.
So Dylan,
how many
does that mean you're not yeah, I guess Adam's gonna say how many races you're gonna have to miss at Ush Weekend. Does that big news, I guess, for Ush Weekend, does that take you out of the points this year?
Yep, that'll take me out of the points for sure. We're kind of gonna see how it goes on up until like how we're doing. And last year before Ush Weekend started, we were about 6th in points. So if we're somewhat around there again, we're gonna stay out there for sure. But I think we've gotten a lot better since last year already. So I don't think that'll be a problem. I think we go out there with what we have right now, and we'll be in good contention for the ACS title.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Even though we would miss you if you're not able to be at Ush Weekend every Friday, it'll be awesome to cheer you on. Do you mind, Dylan? Can I put you on the spot right now?
Sure.
You do a good job with your social media. Every time you travel and race, you put up a post and you say, here's what happened. Tonight we raced at such and such. Here's where I qualified. Here's where I ran in the heat. Here's what happened in the feature. We just launched G-Force TV. So would you begin, and we'll train you how to do this, but would you start to do a video entry after every one of your races? Where all you would have to do is do a video saying, hey, this is Dylan Westbrook. Tonight I raced here. Like the same report, you just don't type it. You would do it as a video update.
Sure, I'd do that.
We'd love to follow that. We'd show you how to add it to G-Force TV. And when you started doing that, Dylan, I don't know if you noticed how many other racers also started to do that.
Yeah, it just like kind of asked my dad that made me start doing it, just so if my sponsors didn't see or anything, then I'd post it and they'd be able to see, and then just really took off. Like on the Facebook page, you can see how many people seeing it, and sometimes it'd be like, depending on like how the posted and how many people share it, up to like 10,000 people and stuff. It really get a lot of people seeing it.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you do a quick video like that and we get people into that habit, Clinton, we'll be able to follow Dylan Westbrook from weekly racing champion to World of Outlaws champion. Mark my
we're
words.
Claiming you, whether you want us or not, Dylan, you're ours. Let's talk a bit about some of the teammates you've been able to work with, guys like Sam Haferteep and some of the best guys out there like Parker Price Miller. How have they upped your game at all? Have you been able to work with them? I mean, you're also teammates with Christopher Bell this year. Did you get to, pull some info from them, get any tips? What'd you pick up from those guys?
Sam, he's really taught me a lot with just driving and everything, just being around him a lot. He's helped me out a lot, just showing me like what I've done wrong and how to get better. It's been a very big help with him around, and then just with him with setup and stuff, just always since he's been doing it forever. So he knows a lot about stuff, and it's just been a good mentor for me for sure.
I have to go to the comment section, Clinton, because Justin Sharp got excited and said, "Is it true that Shakira is opening the program on August 17th?" And we are disappointed to say no, it is not true. But because Clint is a NASCAR on TSN reporter, we have ordered the same outfit for Clinton Jeffrey, and he will be recreating that performance on August 17th.
See, you laugh about that, but I have our very first Oshweekend Speedway suits that I could still get in, and you can get your arm down the hole today. So I wouldn't be talking too much about suits and who can wear what these days, buddy. But no, I told Sharp what the deal was. I told him that I couldn't confirm that rumor about Shakira, but he was just supposed to run with it because it would sell a heck load of tickets for us. But no, I don't believe Shakira. We do have some good announcements coming up about the Pinty's race in the show, but Shakira is not one of them, Sharpie. Sorry. Back to
we've got we've got a night full of announcements, Dylan. I know you're real busy getting ready for Florida, so I just want to wish you luck. It's going to be so exciting to follow you wherever you go. It's been awesome to have you as long as we have pretty much the Oshweekend dominator, but wherever you go from here, we're going to be there with you and we're going to enjoy it.
Thank you.
I got some more for you, Dylan. Let's talk about, you just knocked Steyers off the #1 win list. Glenn is coming back this year. Adam, I'm thinking it could be like the Bailey Ginning rivalry we had there for a couple seasons, going back and forth in the Thunderstocks. Dylan, what do you think about Glenn coming back? You guys been friends for a long time. He did a lot for you. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's great that he's getting back into it. He always loved racing, that's for sure. And no matter what happened in the car, he always came out, was always happy about how it went. So I think he's real happy that he's getting back into it. Just hopefully doesn't crash and get hurt with this how his concussions has been. So hopefully that's all good. But I think he'll have lots of fun doing it, that's for sure.
What's the one thing about going out to the ASC? Well, what makes you nervous this year, Dylan?
Not really that nervous for it. Just a long time to be away from home and everything, so that's going to be a bit to get used to. But should be lots of fun, that's for sure. Just traveling all over, lots of new tracks. After Florida, we're going to be going to California, so very different racing out there. But really excited for it.
What's the longest you've ever lived out of a toter home?
Probably 3 weeks. Nothing too crazy.
Because they do get smaller. Every day they get a little bit smaller than they were the day before.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure.
Well, Dylan, how many times will we see you at Oshweekend? I assume for the big events, but, are we going to see you on a regular Friday here and there? Have you looked that far down the road yet?
Yeah, there'll be a few that I'll be able to make it back to. Not 100% when or what dates, but I'll definitely be back a few times this year.
All right, Dylan, thanks for everything, buddy. Best of luck. Good luck out there on the ASCS tour. Travel safe on your way down to Florida, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll definitely progress both here and as Adam, the salesman, all the time, sold one to you. We'll watch for you on GeForceTV.net. So thanks, Dylan, for being with us on short notice. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, safe travels, Dylan. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
So, and Clint, part of the vision that we've had is the interaction and the combining of all of these different videos. So some of it would be programming, some of it would be small videos, some of it would be in-car camera videos, but it's all going to be in one location so people can keep up with whatever they want to keep up with. It's a video world. I love racing pictures. I love announcing races, but I think we're in a day and age where the visual side is more important. Video is where it's at.
No, like I said, I think it's going to do a lot for everybody together just to see each other's work and see what we're all doing in different spots. And it's certainly going to help spread the word. And like we said, as always, free. So log on to YouTube, find it at GeForce TV on YouTube and subscribe and you won't miss anything. Time for us to announce our newest partner, Adam, and we're excited about this. This is a deal about 2 years in the works. Well, 2 seasons anyways. I guess maybe about a year and a half calendar time, but since the start of last racing season through this racing season, or what we've done already so far, we've been working on with Brian's auction at briansfarm.com to work on getting them on board, because we know they are watching, and we really appreciate them. And they've got a lot of cool stuff going on now. This is a contest we're watching. We'll come back to that one in a minute, Spencer. I definitely want to talk about that. But they have a lot of cool stuff going on. Adam, probably best known for their auctions. And I'll let you talk about it for a minute, and we'll some of the visuals we got about them.
It's no big secret. Ken Lillicrop is the boss over at Brian's Auctions. He's a big racer himself, a big race fan himself. So he's involved in Tim Norris's late model. He's been involved in the Pro Challenge Cup Series. And we've been courting him for a little while, just trying to piece together a deal that would make sense, Clinton, for all of us. But the reason I'm so excited for this is many people are familiar because many people shop. Like a lot of the racers, the race teams already shop at Brian's Auctions, up Highway 6 in Puslinch. They also just opened in the last year or two Brian's Auctions down in Trenton. So in our conversations in the last year, we sort of included, look, Brighton Speedway might be a really good mix for you as well. It's a good market. Again, obviously Ken gets it. He understands the loyalty of racing people, but he also understands that's his demographic. People that can afford to go racing are the type of customers that would really benefit or really be intrigued by what Brian's Auctions has to offer. So what we've created is a partnership between Brian's Auction and Ohsweken Speedway and Rivalz Race Chat, and Brian's Auction and Brighton's Apple Fest weekend at Brighton Speedway. And how cool is that?
No, it is really neat for him to be using what we've been talking to some of the other sponsors, and with our association with Mark and all the stuff they've got going on there. We have such a great mesh across the province that our fans know a lot what's going on at Brighton and vice versa. So it only made sense that the sponsorships were working across that same type of network as well. So it's great that the staff there decided to come on board, Ken and his folks, and to make it happen. Spencer, throw up the stills I sent you, first to the logo, and then we'll talk about, I also sent you the auction dates as well. Adam, you and I went a walk through when we had our talk with Ken. They've got everything in there, all kinds of housewares. From everything. I don't just want to say housewares. I'm doing them not justice, but we met them because we were looking for travel trailers. They've got farm equipment. They've got vehicles. They've got liquidation sale items that they bought from other places. It's just crazy what they had. Warehouses and warehouses of stock there. You can buy online. You can bid online also. So check it out. Spencer, throw up the still I sent you with the auction dates upcoming, so I can make sure we've got those right for them that are coming up in the next little while. And this is a contest they've got going on, Adam, now till April. If you buy some home improvement equipment there, take some pictures, show built with the stuff you bought at Brian Auctions in the renovation photo contest. And Brian the Bear, you might win his renovation photo contest. So that's cool. One thing they've got going on, we've mentioned all kind of items for whether you're a home builder, doing renovations, whatever it is. But Spencer, let's see the auction dates if we can, so we can let people know where they can go on. And of course, Wesley Shaw over there in the chat, never missing a beat for us.
Wesley's on the money.
Yeah.
But an exciting partnership for sure. I was brainstorming a little bit with Agnes today, who's sort of heads up the marketing department for Ken. We started with Ken Lillicrop and worked the deal. And he says, I'm real interested. Send me a pitch, send me your proposal. It's got to pass through Agnes. So if she doesn't buy into it, it's not going to happen. So thankfully we had a good chat with Agnes, and she's pretty excited. The interaction that we can offer, Clint, is what I think what helped the seller. Said, look, what do you want to do? Let's do something fun. Let's work together. So stay tuned, because if you're a fan of racing, if you have ever thought, hey, I'd like to get into this camping game, look at all these people in their trailers and motorhomes, you should see the equipment that Brian's has each and every month up there at the auction. So we're going to introduce you to some fun things. Here's the upcoming auctions. One is going on that ends on Wednesday, February 12th. It is a timed online auction, as you can see. And the one in Puss Lynch ends 2 weeks after that, February 26th. The Puss Lynch auction is twice as big. You're looking at 3,000 plus lots, and they've got everything. You really have to see it to believe it. And we'll get up there and check things out and share with everybody.
Awesome. Check it out. It's briansfarm.com if you want to check them out online and check all the they've got going. Moving on, Adam. Let's talk about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Kenny Wallace announced Sunday morning. I woke up to that news. And it's funny because our planning team was talking about it on Thursday at our meeting. And his name came up, but nobody pulled the trigger on that. And then he came out, and it was a bit of a mystery to us trying to figure out how that deal came together. But near as we can tell, Kenny Wallace himself reached out to one of the teams here in Canada and said, hey, I want to put together a deal, which is not usually how it works for this type of event. Typically, we have go out and solicit the drivers like we did with Stuart Friesen. So a little bit different here. So the other one who we talked to that said he was going to race it was Ken Schrader. So both of those guys, Adam, came to here to Canada looking for a ride for this event. So that is super cool. I know you have some thoughts on that as well.
Well, these are drivers, Clinton, that in the last 20 years have been paid good money to come to Canada and drive race cars, be it Flamborough Speedway or the old Cayuga Speedway. And now there's events on the radar that people are saying, look, I want to be a part of this. So that's what's different. You know, I laughed way back when. Remember the Canada Day shootout and Tony Stewart? They had security guards all around him. It was like the Pope at the racetrack. And I kind of rolled my eyes because those were the days I would go to Volusia Speedway in the winter and there's Tony Stewart standing in the middle of a crowd in a pair of jeans because he's there to race. But there's a big difference between the race car driver who wants to go and race and one who is a hired gun who gets paid to come in. And these are two legendary drivers who want to come and race.
Yeah, it is super cool for us because it just adds to the cloud of that event. I mean, we've already announced Stuart Friesen. Now to be able to say Kenny Wallace and Ken Schrader. Wallace is still heavily involved with the NASCAR television package, so we expect he'll be talking a little bit more and getting a bit of buzz towards that. I know NASCAR is really pushing the promotion of this event. I'm so tempted to announce the purse, but I haven't been given the official go, so we may have to wait another week. I'm literally biting my tongue over here, but it may not blow dirt racing fans away when we announce the purse, but it's going to blow CASCAR and NASCAR Pinty Series fans out of the water and teams out of the water when they hear what they're going to be racing for. I'm going down to Daytona as guest of NASCAR next week, so I best just bite my tongue for another Tuesday until I get the official release. But I can tell you it's going to be exciting. It's still going to be awesome. Now, going back to that, so we've got Stuart Friesen, Kenny Wallace, Ken Schrader announced. I'm going to announce another one right now. Glenn Stiers has secured a ride in the Pinty Series as well. And alongside him, as another teammate to him, will be JJ Yaley. So JJ Yaley secured a ride up here. I've been trying all week, and I hate to jump out because I haven't heard from JJ's camp. But Glenn tells me it's a go. They just spent all this time at the Chili Bowl. The bill's covered with the rental. So we just got to make sure JJ is going to be able to make it, which we are 99.8% sure right now. So I'm calling it that. Super exciting. And this event is going to continue more and more. So the other thing we're waiting back on, a couple of the other names just to update. Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell said he'd be interested in racing the sprint cars, but didn't think he would get behind the wheel of the Pinty Series on that day. So we would still take Christopher if he's available to come up and race 2 nights. You're also going to have 50 of the best 360 sprint car drivers there like we did last year. And Stuart Friesen will be also jumping in a sprint car both nights as well. So we're going to have some amazing talent. The other side to that is we've got a few more other guys who are still looking at rides. I got calls no less this week than 3 teams. Spoke to DJ Kennington, Jason Ray Jackson, all about rent cars. So we'll see how those all pan out.
Yeah, there's lots of equipment out there. There are a lot of teams with cars that are that are ready to go. And I'm going to be bold, Clint, and say you do not need a top-notch race car to come out and win this race. Like most of these events, you've got to have top shelf Scott Steckley or DJ Kennington or LP Dumoulin prepared equipment. This is a race where if the four wheels are all pointed in the same direction with 10 laps to go, you've got a shot.
I fully agree, Adam, and I think you're gonna. You said Dumoulin. That's another one who we figure there's been a lot of speculation from the camps I've been talking about that they're gonna bring some dirt hot shoe out of Quebec and run with Dumoulin. So that's still a possibility. I expect Lacroix maybe too. You never know. Who could come out of that end of the words. So we're excited.
Think about this. GM Paillet sponsors dirt modified racers. The main sponsor for Marc-Antoine Camerand in the Scott Steckley prepared number. Oh my God, I couldn't remember what his number is. What the hell number is the GM Paillet car? I see it. He runs the 22. I thought it was Donald Teege. Teege is in the 24. Anyhow, GM Paillet also sponsors dirt modified, so there's already some connections there that could see them come out and compete with us. So lots of exciting stuff on the go, Clinton, and I can't wait to see what develops. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, another thing we want to announce, we got another big bit of news today, and our next we announced. So, wow, it's been a show of announcements. We announced G-Force TV, which we're going to run the video again in case you're just joining us here in a few minutes. We'll run that before we kick over to the Rivalz Elite. You see they're in the middle of lining up for heat number 2 for Volusia, and we'll talk a bit about what that means in our next segment or a segment or two down the road here in the show. We got to cut up here behind. But that means it's good. So we heard from G-Force TV. We heard about Dylan Westbrook not going to be racing at Ohsweken Speedway, which is probably the biggest story to come out of Ohsweken Speedway this week. Then we heard about Kenny Wallace, Stiers, and Yaley. Now here's our next big announcement. We had talked about bringing this gentleman in to run the Pinty series in the early days, but he sent me back another text today. So let's check out the video we received today via text from California. Spencer is loading the video. That was some suspense there. Well, let us talk if you can until you figure it.
Is at the Canadian Sprint
Got
Car
no audio.
Nationals September 18th and 19th at Ohsweken Speedway.
Yeah, we don't have any audio there, Spence. Play it again.
Hey everyone, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals September 18th and 19th at Ohsweken Speedway.
Is my mic working now, Clint?
Yep.
Something came unplugged there. So, geez, that was self-induced. That was my own issue there.
He had us shut off. But there you hear it, folks. Rico Abreu will not be at the Summer Nationals, but he is going to race for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals, which is entering its 16th year. I think adding Rico to that program is going to be big, Adam. It could be the little bit of kick we need to really put the spectator side over. There's been over 75 cars entered every year for a long time. So I think Rico's really going to add to the fan count this year. He won in his 360 race this year at Ohsweken Speedway in one of them. So definitely a new contender to battle for the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals this year.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Rico brings a special kind of fan following. His energy is unlike anybody else, Clinton. So awesome that he sent a little video. He works pretty hard with that social stuff and keeping people tuned into his brand.
I think he just does it right. He's got a fantastic attitude with everything, whether we asked him to sign anything or come talk to sponsors. And that was the coolest thing we found last year with Christopher and Rico. They just cruised around and talked to our drivers instead of just hanging out by themselves. They really not only were they making themselves available, they were actually engaging our drivers, which was super cool.
They were interested
to have them back.
Yeah, they were interested. We better keep moving through this list because I have a feeling our video of the week is going to create some chatter And I want it to, because I can go either way on this one. So it's going to be a fun talk.
All right, let's first off talk about memorials and tributes.
So
You went to the Flamborough banquet.
yeah, Saturday night I had the opportunity to go to the Flamborough banquet. Angie and Connor and I sat with Gary Calling and Owen Calling and Doug Leonard and Harper. It was a great time. Really enjoyed it. One thing they do with their banquet that I think is cool is they've got their Flamborough Speedway Hall of Fame, and they had some great inductees, including Warren Conium, who got up and gave a speech, Donnie Thompson Jr. It was all good. And then I saw something as they were doing it that I didn't like, Clint. They have a memorial night on the schedule, which is just, it's a big race. And what they do on Memorial Night, they honor everyone who has ever raced at Flamborough Speedway who has passed away. So anyone who has been a part of Flamborough Speedway as a driver and is no longer with us, and the family lets the track know, or the track just knows what's going on. So there are a lot of names engraved on this trophy. But they have a special night throughout the year, and they honored the winners of every division at the banquet. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not real keen on using your year-end banquet to honor people who won a single race during the year, because there's already so much time taken up at the banquet giving away different awards. It just seems like an unnecessary step. But I want to give kudos to John and Frank Caselli, because they called the winners up and they gave them these they weren't huge trophies. They were these little cups, statues with cups on them on a little trophy. And then after all the winners were up on the stage, John and Frank Caselli go up on stage with a bottle of champagne, and they pour everyone a glass of champagne into their trophy cups. John and Frank pour themselves a glass, and they had a toast to all the people on the memorial cup. So all of the winners from that night and John and Frank Caselli drank a champagne toast to pay tribute to the memorial night and all the drivers that were on that trophy. And I completely changed my tune. When I saw what they had done there, I thought that is a really neat, touching tribute. Without singling one person out over someone else, it just pays tribute to everyone who's been a part of that family.
Yeah, I got to do the Flamborough banquet about 5 years ago and got to witness that myself. I think it's, as a promoter, it's tough because everyone wants to honor the person who was close to them or who got them into racing. And man, Memorial Nights can be really tough because, like I said to you today, it's difficult because you want to help out all the families. You honor all the wishes, but it's very easy to have a Memorial Night every night of the year in short order. I think that's a great way to do it, and a great toast to the fallen racers. What's the other hot topics going on at the Flamborough banquet? Anything else to pick up on your travels?
Yeah. So there was a schedule at every place set in the venue. And I glanced through the schedule, saw the Grisdale Racing Products Triple Crown races that I want to make sure that I try to get to. And I didn't notice until someone pointed out on Facebook, but the mini stocks have more races this year than they have in years past. Apparently there are 23 races on the schedule for mini stocks, and some of the drivers have gone online to complain, to say, look, for the last few years, we've had a weekend off every month, at least a weekend off. And this is going to be a grueling schedule. You're going to lose race cars. You're going to lose race teams. You're not listening to what the teams want. And I found it interesting. And Doug Leonard, who's the race director there, I've seen him involved in some of these conversations, sharing his piece. I have mixed feelings about it, Clinton, because nobody forces anyone to run for perfect attendance or run for a points championship. And it certainly doesn't pay a lot of money to do so. So if someone wants to take a weekend off every month, I've always wondered, why don't you just take a weekend off? But I also understand that people want to have perfect attendance and race for points championships. What is your take on that?
Well, we've been through the gamut. I mean, at the tracks I've managed over the years, at one point we did so that would allow drivers to take a week or two off and go on vacation, and then the ones who wanted to race could still race. But then what we found was that the drivers who were taking the weeks off weren't going on vacation. They were racing a competing series at a competing track. So our guys got mad at the end of the year and said, wait a minute now. We dedicated ourselves to you, and you let somebody who picked and choose when he wanted to be here be the champion. So that's where we went away with drops. The other side to it is, I can see the mini stock guys. They're hobbyists. They're more. I never want to say entry level, but if there's any class that probably would be all right with parking their stuff on the weekend, because they're maybe just getting into it, or maybe not as hot and heavy as we are up in the upper classes sometimes. But I mean, again, don't slaughter me, mini stock guys. You're just as dedicated. That's not what I'm saying, but you know what I'm getting at. And I think, I last year with the Action Sprint Tour, the guys came to me and said, hey, after our big race, we always take the Friday off, but you booked us an Action Sprint Tour race. If you didn't book anything that weekend, we could have had 9 days off. So we actually purposely did that. I actually blocked that weekend out and said no. So I was conscious of that to give our guys and all the Ushweekend staff and everybody associated with the Big O gets 8 days off after the Pinty's race. But that's a tough battle, because you look at John, you're trying to run your business. If that's the most successful class, like, mini stocks need to look at it that way. They want you every week, because as a promoter and me saying that means they're cost effective. They're bringing a good crowd. They're putting on a good show. All those reasons to be proud of why you want on every week, So it's a tough call. What's the solution? What do you think the answer should be there, Adam?
My answer won't be very popular among the racers, but I say if you're on the schedule every week, you're on the schedule every week. You don't have to race every week. I get both sides, but I also get that the lower classes are the lower classes for a reason. The politically correct answer would be to say, mini stocks, you put on the best racing week in and week out. We can't afford you to have you off the schedule. That's the politically correct answer. The politically incorrect answer is, okay, who can I afford to upset? Mini stocks or late models? You can't run the late models too much, because there is a big expense week in and week out. Mini stocks, there's different ways to look at it. I don't think one is necessarily right and one is necessarily wrong, but it's reality. You got to put on a show, and there's a lot of traveling clubs that just aren't bringing the numbers these days. And if the mini stocks if they keep up that pushback, what if the vintage modifieds start to show up with 30 cars every week? And John Caselli decides, you know what? I don't need the mini stocks. We've got pure stocks, vintage modifieds, super stocks, and late models. That's good enough for us. Thanks for your time, mini stocks, but I don't think we'll need you next year.
No, and I think, Justin Sharp comments here, 1 weekend off a year is good, but if you take that off by yourself away from the division to go camping, like you say, well, go ahead, take the week off, then you're handicapped out. But Flamborough is an open draw system, so as long as you're a member, that doesn't affect. But in some instances, that would affect you, Sharpie. So I do see your point there. I think when you put it all together, like we said, the track has to do what's best for them. And some weeks it's not easy to make it, but if you want to be there, the other thing that I face is, we do a lot of stuff at Ushweekend for 100% perfect attendance. A lot of people say, well, I got a lot of guys who only missed 2 nights, and I'm like, yeah, but all the benefits are for those guys who made every effort to get there every week because it was on the schedule, like you said. And that's our incentive there. Is it's not 90%, it's not 95, it's 100% attendance, and then you get the Hoosier Tire bonus money, the points payouts, everything else you need to go with it. So it's a tough call, but good thing for the mini stocks to be that in demand. You good with that?
I'm good with that. Moving on. So Spencer, did you cue the video up to that one particular restart? I don't want you to play too much after, because they announce what happens after the fact, but the race officials take action after the restart, Clinton, that we're about to watch.
We go.
So
A one-lap
I have
dash
not
to the
watched
checkered
it yet.
flag. Oh, they bunch them up. We got cones and tires and everything else flying.
They go yellow. Spencer, cue that up one more time. Even back it up a couple more seconds there.
I was gonna say my first instance is that was a horrible restart.
It was.
Here we go. A one-lap dash to the checkered flag.
Okay, folks, chime
they
in.
bunch
Who
'em up.
who
We
is
got
at fault?
cones and tires.
Who bungled this restart?
Can I go first?
Yeah, please do.
The outside pole sitter. He got on the gas, and then he got off the gas. The inside line didn't want to pass him, backed off, and everybody piled in behind.
Okay, Spencer, cue it up one more time. There is no outside pole sitter. In this race, the leader starts all by himself in a row by himself. So that 111 car is the point car. He fires when he wants to. That 116 is actually third, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I was going to say he's out of line right now. So if it starts like that, he's already, in my books, too far ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that, Spencer.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I was right. He just wasn't the outside pole sitter. He was the third place guy.
They penalized the leader and put him to the back.
No, really?
They penalized the leader. Now, watch what the only thing the leader does that I don't like, you'll see the car flinch just a little bit because he took off, and then I believe he must have seen the outside car out of the corner of his eye and backed off for a second. And that the backing off is what caused everybody to stack up. But I think he wanted to accentuate that the outside car screwed him. But yeah, they put the leader to the back.
Is that the equivalent of a racing dive or a mild dive? Like he got tripped, but he really wanted to show, so he took a big fall there. Because you're right. I think your analysis of it 100%. He saw the nose of the car on the outside and realized this ain't a Delaware restart. He should be way back. And when we were running Delaware restarts at Humberstone, the second row had to be no farther than even with the leader's bumper. So he was way out. Go back that one more time, Spencer. Man, I could watch
and
these
Justin
things
Sharp.
over and over.
Yeah, Justin Sharp called it right. The leader didn't keep a steady pace, but the leader's still the leader. There's got to be some respect that he can fire when he wants.
Kudos to those other guys to not pile it all up and to make it out of that schmozzle they had going on there in turn 4. They did a great job keeping it together, but yeah, the officials bungled that, man. Oh, so let's watch the whole thing. Let's watch one more time because can we watch it all the way through now?
To the checkered flag.
Let it go all the way through, Spencer, and see what the end result is.
Oh, they bunch them up. We got cones and tires and everything else flying. Caution flag coming out. Max Blair is being ticketed as the caution car because he did not pick up the pace at the proper place, and that just wadded the field up behind him.
And they go on to a one-lap restart to the finish. So, yeah, I think the leader kind of got hosed there, but we see gamesmanship all the time.
You see Klager's comment? Leader not keeping the pace. Watch where the actual restart cone was.
I was trying to find the restart cone, but they've got freaking cones everywhere, Paul. Like there's one you can see.
Play it, Spence. Probably that tire.
I believe the leader, once the leader heard third place at about 7,000 RPM about to go by, I think he was on the throttle, rolled out of it, and really caused mayhem behind him.
So would you not say the 116 made the mistake originally?
I
would. Got too far up beside the leader because the leader can come to the pace, whatever pace he wants, no?
I think so. I mean, we got a couple of people disagreeing, but that's okay. That's so the tire and the cone. So the leader stayed as steady as he could. Yeah, I'm reading Brian Hallowell. That was going to be my question. Where was he supposed to go? So to me, the leader's the leader, commands a certain amount of respect, and you've got an area to operate in where as long as you don't brake check the field, you shouldn't be penalized. He didn't keep a totally steady pace, but the car on the outside was kind of messing with him too. So, but I just enjoyed that. When I watched that video, Stephen Ovens had posted it, and I watched it and I watched it again. I watched it probably 10 times, Clinton, because this sort of stuff fascinates me. And I still didn't come up with any concrete solutions.
Always good when we can have these wicked discussions, and it's amazing that we can all have these different opinions. Takes me back to the Cruder Westbrook thing last summer, where my whole family still doesn't talk to me and tells me I have no idea what I'm talking about in racing. My father and my brother both have different opinions on it than me. It's crazy to see how different people see different things, but that's why it's exciting. In case you missed, go ahead.
I was just, it creates conversation, Clinton, and we can sit around a campfire and call each other idiots as we spout our opinion. But the fact of the matter is, the campfires that we attend have a bunch of people with a clue. Like when you get a Paul Klager and a Justin Sharp and a Brian Hallowell, Clinton, and us, everyone's got a legitimate opinion. Sharpie, and they still don't all agree. Just like your family being mad at you over what happened in the summer, people that have seen things over and over again and still can't agree is what makes it a lot of fun.
I think that's why you and I get along. Let's talk about iRacing and esports quickly. And if you missed it here, ladies and gentlemen, we announced a big thing tonight, a new association with GeForce TV. If you're not already on YouTube, get over there and subscribe to GeForce TV. Search for it on YouTube. You may already be subscribed. It's going to be an exciting play. Spencer, do you have the promo video again you want to run quickly? In case anybody missed it off the top of the show, we'll run that quickly. Then we'll come back, talk about iRacing, esports, and a bit of Flamborough, or not Flamborough, but pavement stuff going on here in Ontario. The B main is just wrapping up from the Rivalz Elite at Volusia, and we'll come back for the A main and turn it over to Steve Ovens for the call of that with the Brad Ovens produced Rivalz Elite Pro division from Volusia tonight. Here's our promo for our new channel and association, GeForceTV.net.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivalz Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivalz and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
You know, Clint, when I watched it the second time, I noticed that when he showed Blacktop Rivalz iRacing, he showed a clip where Spencer Mullen's name was on the scoring ticker at the top of the screen. There's no way that was a coincidence.
As he's laughing in our ears, little plug for our producer there. So if you're not over on YouTube, subscribe. We did a bit of a social media contest last week. We picked 3 winners out who won 3 pairs of passes, or a pair of passes each, to the Pinty's Summer Nationals out of Washougal Speedway, August 17th and 18th. And Spencer, if you've got them ready, I know we're throwing you a curveball right now, but throw them up on the screen. I don't even know what the 3 winners were, randomly chosen. So we'll see what
we're going to do them one at a time.
Coming up. John Crash Myers wins. Okay.
Rodney Rutherford. and I can't see the third name because my big face is in
Rick
front of
Agnew.
it. Rick Agnew. So those are the 3 winners of pairs of tickets. Thank you so much for sharing. We are going to do more of these type draws as time goes on. We're going to have different incentives and wanting to get people over to the YouTube channel. I really like it, Clinton. Sort of watching the program over there is actually a little bit less cluttered than Facebook. So if you're watching on a laptop or a computer, there's lots of room for the chat on one side, the screen on the other. So yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it as well. So get over to GeForce TV on YouTube. Subscribe. If you subscribe from the start of this program through the next week, we'll pick 3 more winners to give away 3 more sets of passes for.
And we got to get going because the A-main is lined up. We got a couple more topics to cover, and this is important. We really want to give a hats off to Matthew Henninger and his group for the event they promoted down in Pennsylvania, a huge sim racing event on the weekend. Their broadcast on the VLR Facebook page garnered 32,000 views, Clinton. So it was a well-promoted event. And maybe we'll try to get Matthew on the program if we can in the coming weeks, but we'll have to put that off to next week because the pace laps are rolling for the A-main at Volusia and the Rivalz Pro Elite.
Yeah, it's exciting, but quickly, while they're rolling that, we don't necessarily need to line up. We'll just watch the A-main. Spencer, roll a couple of those pictures from last week, Adam. And Adam Buchanan, who's racing here tonight in the Rivalz Pro Elite. This was one of the first times he'd ever done this. Just roll through the picture, Spencer. This is a live event at a racing trade show, expo, where they had live screens set up. They had bleachers set up. They had a live competition. It just goes to show that iRacing and esports are really going to be actors a lot bigger than a lot of, let's say, the older generation thinks it can be. So super excited about that. As you mentioned, we'll have Matthew on soon. Going to be a great week ahead of us as we get ready to roll into Speed Weeks, everybody. It's been awesome. Thanks for joining us again. Don't forget GeForceTV.net. Anything else, Adam, you want to say?
We're going to bring up the smoothing the pavement as well, but a big hats off to the pavement promoters here in Ontario, Clinton. I think there are very good times ahead for asphalt racing fans, and we'll talk about that more next week.
100%. We talked about iRacing joining us on GeForceTV.net. This is one of the premier productions coming up right now. It's the Rivalz Elite from Volusia. They've had amazing races the last 2 weeks. If you've not been watching it, check this out. Over to Steve Ovens for the call of the race. They just took the green. Thank you, Spencer, for everything you do.
Lap 1 for the Rivalz Elite Pro Series here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Round number 12 of 20 underway, and Alex Bergeron leads us. They'll come down to put lap number 2 on the board. It's Bergeron, but he has got company. Here comes Kyle Moonen in the 91 of Ernie Williams Jr. Close encounter there for Keith Jackson right off the drop of the green flag. Jackson clipped the inside concrete going into turn 1 right off the green flag. It bounced him out. He lost a position there to Stephen Goldner, but he has re-racked it, still in the top 5. So what could have been a disaster did not turn out to be so, and Jackson right now rounding out your top 5 runners. Jackson, who is the Season 2 Series champion for the Ohsweken Outlaws Renegades division, he's now backed that up with 2 straight wins at Lernerville and Knoxville. And he is battling hard right now. Stephen Goldner up to the 4 spot just ahead of him as they're battling for 5th behind Goldner. Boy, it looked like Goldner almost spun the tires off of turn 2 that time. But he's just really pedaling his bike easy down on the bottom as Jackson and Kevin Loveys will do battle. Loveys in the Ohsweken Sprint Resource. Number 18, Glenn Stiers Racing NRAM Dynamics sponsored ride. Jackson all the way to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. The outside lane was strong earlier tonight, but I gotta tell you, as this A-main is starting to wear on, the outside lane just doesn't look like it was as dominant as it was earlier. Kyle Moonen right now running. Oh, look out. They were sideways a little bit there as we got ready to cut. But Kyle Moonen is definitely closing in on Alex Bergeron. So Moonen down to the inside portion of the racetrack, trying to get a run on Bergeron here off of turn 4. Couldn't make it happen that time, but he goes right back at it down into turns 1 and 2. Bergeron taking the long way around the racetrack, around the outside of the second turn, but Moonen keeps it true down on the bottom. Kyle Moonen out of Lima, Ohio, doing battle here with the driver out of Drummondville, Quebec, Canada, that has just dominated the Elite Pro Series here this season. And Moonen is given an absolute awesome run here for the Sim Racing Concepts team. Scotty Edwards, stand up and take a bow as you've got a new race leader. In turn 1, it's Kyle Moonen. Moonen with the race lead down the back straightaway. They'll bring it across the line here to put lap number 12 on the board. Boy, that was a close one at the line. But it was Bergeron by 13 one-thousandths of a second. Look at this race for the lead. 3 different racing grooves being used right now. Now Bergeron goes to the bottom. Moonen just a lane above him. And Ernie Williams Jr., who now changes lanes. And Ernie Williams will take it through the middle. So Ernie Williams used whatever was left on the top side of the racetrack. Now he'll go back to it in turn number 4. And look at that monster run he gets off of turn 4. You're going to ride on board with him here. Off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Ernie Williams Jr., the driver out of Lima, Ohio, the Tim Smith Racing Simulators Ultimate Dirt TV number 91. Putting together a nice run as they go through turns 1 and 2. He puts it all the way up on the cushion, and that's where Bergeron went as well. But Kyle Moonen's going to stick down to that inside lane. What a race up front here for the lead. I see they're racing just behind these guys as well, but the race for the lead has been so good, we haven't dared to cut away from it. So now everybody with a couple car lengths to themselves. Let's see if we can't slide back here and take a peek at this battle for 4th as Goldner, Lovies, and now the 110 of Hanley do battle. They'll race. Oh, baby, look at them. And Keith Jackson not giving up that outside lane either. Adam Buchanan starting to get racy with these guys. Buchanan started 19th. He's up to 7th. So AB's picked off 12 cars since the drop of the green rag. And right now, he could be fighting for a top 5 finish before this one's over. As Goldner gets crossed up into turn 3 that time, Lovies drives by, Hanley drives by. In a race that's now 19 laps in the books, we've not seen a single yellow flag yet. My goodness. We're 5.5 minutes into this race, and we've got 20 laps out of 35 on the board. Could set a record for fastest race in Elite Pro Series history tonight, the way these guys are going. And now we're watching the battle for the lead as Ernie Williams Jr. has gotten past Moonen, and now he's going on the attack. Ernie Williams Jr. is going after Alex Bergeron for the lead. Bergeron holds on to the lead as they go to turns 3 and 4. Coming to put lap number 22 on the board. 22 in, 13 to go. 13 to go for driver number 12 as he brings it off of turn 2. And you see the gap between Bergeron and Williams that time. Last time it was 3.5 tenths across the line. Let's see what he's got this time. That time Bergeron stretches this out to 4.5 tenths over Williams. And now Kyle Moonen starting to close back in on Williams as we'll watch this battle behind these guys as Adam Buchanan has gotten himself up into the top 5 for the first time tonight. 19 to 5th for Buchanan in the Wicked Relief Gum 44. And he's starting to close in on Kevin Lovies in the 18. As they work through 3 and 4, Kyle Moonen pulls up on the tail tank of Ernie Williams Jr. as they battle into turns 1 and 2. Moonen trying to get that 2 spot back away from Williams if he can. Riding on board here with Moonen as he brings it off of turn number 4. Good battle here for position number 2 as Bergeron continues to lead. But just as we say that, here comes Ernie Williams Jr. down to the bottom. He'll take the bottom line away from Bergeron. Bergeron heavy back on the gas. And here we go. Battle once again for the lead here with just 8 laps to go. Williams takes it down to the inside, trying to get position on Bergeron. But Bergeron uses the outside lane to perfection. Now Williams will follow Bergeron's tire tracks through 1 and 2. Boy, Ernie Williams Jr. wants this one bad. Had a race that he thought he could have won at Lanier just a couple of weeks ago and finished second to Bergeron, and that was a tough pill to swallow for him. As Williams brings it down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Bergeron slides out to the outside, Williams through the middle, and he is right there on him. 13/100ths of a second for Ernie Williams, and he is rolling the bottom. Williams off of turn 2, new race leader into turn number 3. Bergeron pounds the outside in turn 4 one more time. He'll keep the advantage and retake the lead here at the line. Boy, we are setting up for a dandy of a finish here. It's been a dandy of a race so far. Coming up on 3 laps to go this time by. Williams right on the back bumper of Bergeron. 3 to go. And now Kyle Moonen takes a peek to the outside of Williams, and Moonen got a nice run through the middle. And Williams is going to fade back. Moonen's up to the 2 spot. And folks, here's something to keep in mind. Fuel could be a concern here. As Adam Buchanan gets by Lovey's for 4th. Folks, Ernie Williams Jr.'s backing off the gas, and I'm wondering if it's for fuel. Coming up on the white flag this time, and Kyle Moonen is all over Alex Bergeron for the lead. White flag is out here from Volusia, and Buchanan is up to 3rd. Bergeron off of turn 2. Do they have enough fuel? Can Moonen get by? Bergeron down to the inside of 3 and 4, and it looks like he's going to do it. Alex Bergeron's going to win at Volusia. Second across the line is Moonen. Adam Buchanan, a career best here with the Rivalz Elite Pro Series to finish 3rd. Kevin Lovey's 4th, Jason Nygaard 5th. The rest of your top 10 is Kevin Hanley, Keith Jackson, Cody Hartlaub, Stephen Goldner, and Larry Moody. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Rivalz Elite Pro Series green to checkered. What a finish here from Barberville, Florida. As Bergeron does the donuts here on the front straightaway. And these guys did not make it easy on him tonight. What a battle there at the end. And, you know, it didn't really think about it until we had about 5 laps to go. But a lot of these drivers, when they consider how much fuel to put in these race cars, they factor in that we might get a couple of yellow flags. We didn't get a single one tonight. So let's stack up your top 3. We'll talk to them here momentarily. Folks, stay tuned. I'm going to catch my breath. And you're watching the Rivalz Elite Pro Series here on 3-9 Streaming. Stay tuned. Welcome back, folks, to the Volusia Speedway Park here in Barberville, Florida. Race number 12 is in the books. And give it to Alex Bergeron. Alex Bergeron picks up the big win here. Adam Buchanan, this is Steve Ovens. You got a copy? All right, Adam, tell us about this run tonight, man. 19th to 3rd. What a strong effort for you, plus 16 spots.